Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel and to another Elden Ring video. In today's video, I'm going to take you on a short guide of Costal Cave, which is on the western beach of Limgrave. It's a really early game location with a bunch of unique features. Not only is this one of the locations you get to continue the quest line for Boc, one of the NPCs you meet in Limgrave, it's also the way to get to the secret island just off the coast of Limgrave, where you can go to the Church of the Dragon Communion and trade in your dragon heart for some of the really cool dragon spells you may have seen throughout the game. This also had one of the hardest bosses for me in the early games, so I'm going to give you some tips on how best to tackle it to make the fight a little bit more bearable. If you do go on to enjoy, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for now though. Let's get into it. So as I said, to the west of Limgrave here, just along this beach, you will find the entrance to the Costal Cave. Now this location has a bunch of features that are really important, one of which is continuing the Boc storyline. If you don't know who Boc is and you want to start his storyline, it's nice and simple. You just have to head along this road here in the main part of Limgrave, and you'll hear him calling at you from a bush nearby. Roll into the bush, destroy the bush, and he will pop out and start telling you about how he was abandoned from a cave on the beach of Limgrave. After you talk to him a couple times and go through his dialogue options, he will tell you that he's going to go try and receive his sewing needle from the cave, but if you look at him, he's not really up to par with the other demi-humans that he's going to try and fight. So when you go to Costal Cave, you'll see him cowering by the grace, and you yourself will have to go retrieve the sewing needle for him. The early part of the cave is actually really simplistic. I do recommend going in with some form of lighting, whether it be a torch, a lantern, or just using glowstone rocks to throw about. But the enemies in there aren't that hard, and there are a couple items you can loot along the way. The real kicker of this place is actually when you get to the boss door. Essentially what this boss is actually a double boss. There are two big demi-humans in there who are going to cause you a bad time. But the trick with this one is that you can, if you play it right, just fight them one at a time, and that makes it much more manageable. The real issue with these bosses is actually their damage output themselves. They are very fast, very heavy hitting, a lot of jumping and timing against your rolls. They are kind of annoying to deal with, but if you can get your hits off on them, if you can stun them anywhere or get any backstabs, you're going to do a lot of damage to these guys because they're not the tankiest. So my general tip is just to follow my pathing here. You sneak around to the left hand side and start engaging with one, and just pull back further to the door. Don't go forward towards the next one, because if you activate him or the screams of the teammates activate him, you're going to have them run over, and then you're fighting double the amount of enemies, and it's really, really painful. But once you kill them one at a time, heal up, make sure you have the mana, you can then progress through the rest of this cave. Do not take the teleporter back to the grace in the entrance, otherwise you're not going to be able to progress to the hidden island. Instead, just walk straight through the cave, continue the path, there's a few more enemies to fight in here, and you'll eventually come out on the other side of this island. There's a grace up ahead along with a few items to loot around, but there are no enemies here to deal with. But the main thing right next to the grace is obviously going to be the Church of the Dragon Communion. If you interact with the altar, it will show you the 3 dragon spells that you can buy from this location. Of course, to buy a dragon spell, you need a dragon heart, which in the early game means you have to go fight a Geel at the lake in Limgrave. But once you have fought him or any other enemy that drops a dragon heart, such as the magma worms, you can then come to this location to buy one of these 3 spells. Later on in the game, when you get to Caelid, you actually can find the Cathedral of the Dragon Communion, which gives you access to a lot more spells, but those 3 are also included there. So if you just want early game faith magic dragon spells, this is the place to go in the very early game to save you venturing to Caelid, which, if you haven't seen the memes on YouTube and Twitter, it's pain. Caelid is just pain. Don't go there early game. Make sure once you've done all this and once you've killed the boss and got the sewing needle, you do go back to Boc in the cave, talk to him, let him know that you've done it. He'll be very thankful, and eventually he'll come into your service to help you alter garments, which basically changes the aesthetic of some of your clothes throughout the game. That then, guys, is how to complete Costal Cave, how you can get to the secret island of the Church of the Dragon Communion, and how you can progress with Boc's storyline. That will take us though to the end of the video, and if you did enjoy, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to come see me play through this game live on multiple different playthroughs, new game pluses with different builds and different ideas, then come check me out on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING. For more Elden Ring content, make sure you check out some of the videos here on the screen, especially the fight with Melia, the hardest boss within Elden Ring. That'll be a good one. If you haven't fought her yet, or if you just want to see my pain when fighting her, go check that video out. For now, guys, have a fantastic day, and as always, remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless. I'll catch you in the next one.